Hoi hoi folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and Happy New Year wherever you are in the world. My name's Sean, aka Uncle Frogface, and welcome to today's video. So today, to say goodbye to 2020 and hello to 2021, I thought it'd be nice to take a look back at some of the nice things that happened last year, and at the same time paint an acrylic painting inspired by that. So without further ado, I'm going to switch over and we'll get straight into the painting. So first thing I did was to make a bunch of sketches, and these are all based on Andrew and I visiting the zoo earlier in the year. And I arranged them on a masonite board so that I could attach my canvas. So because I'm using that board as kind of a background and a place for my sketches, I needed to secure this down. So it's just a couple of pieces of masking tape, and this is an Arteza pre-primed 20 by 30 centimeter canvas board. So pre-primed saves me a bit of a job. I'm just going to pop that down, make sure it's nice and securely in place. I try to keep my face out of this as much as possible, but you might see my nose or my ear pop in occasionally. And here's the first thing, and I'm just wetting the whole canvas with a chip brush, and then I'm going to go over and just put in a bit of a mid-tone base in the background, a bit of yellow ochre and a bit of burnt umber. So while this is happening, I thought I'd just talk a little bit about last year. Now obviously I don't want to talk about all of the bad things that happened, but the elephant in the room, yes, last year was pretty bad for a lot of people, so I don't want to go into too much detail about that. However, among all of the badness, there was some good that came out of it. I mean, as people who have seen some of my past videos will know, this year has been a major year of transformation for me. I've learnt to walk again after better part of a decade in a wheelchair, and I've had treatment for neurological disorders, and I'm back to work and teaching after a long absence, and it's been a brilliant year for all of those reasons. So I'm choosing to look at the positive that's happened. Now, Andrew and I did almost buy a house earlier last year, but obviously with the world the way it was, that fell through, and we've delayed that. But hopefully with the world getting a little bit more back to normal, vaccination starting, all of that, that will be back on soon. I'm hoping that wherever we move to, we currently have a 1-bedroom bungalow in North London, which is small. It's livable, but it's small. So I'm hoping when we buy our place, I'll have at least enough space for a studio, and we'll be looking at starting a family and adoption and all that good stuff. So there's lots of good things on the way. I'll just take a bit of a pause to say what I'm doing here with the painting. So I'm doing my kind of initial canvas sketch, and I'm doing this with coloured pencil. So the reason I'm doing this with coloured pencil is that I can mark in different areas in different colours, just kind of a visual reference for myself. But also, unlike graphite or watercolour pencils, these are not water soluble. So when I paint over the top in acrylics, the colour is not going to bleed into the colours that I'm laying down. So obviously gorillas are mainly black and white and variations of that. So all of this undercolour, all of these, blues and purples and reds, and when I come in with my underpainting, all of those colours hopefully will show through a little bit without taking away too much from the actual colour of the gorilla. And yeah, this was from one of my favourite memories from last year, which was when Andrew and I visited London Zoo. That was her anniversary. It was the first time since we've been together, which is a long time now, that we've been to a zoo where I wasn't in a wheelchair. And it was such an amazing day, and it was kind of such a milestone for me that this is almost kind of remembering that moment. As we were walking around, I was sketching the gorillas in the enclosure. There was one young gorilla. I don't know whether it was a male or a female gorilla, but they had these straps in their enclosure that they can hang from and swing from. And this one gorilla was just happily sat there, resting their arm on the strap, and just letting me sketch them and being nice and calm. So that's kind of what I wanted to do with this painting. So yeah, like I said, amongst all of the kind of tragedy and bad stuff, there's been a lot of good stuff that's happened as well. So sometimes it's nice to reflect on the good things that have happened. So here I've gone in, I've painted in all of my kind of shadow values in the underpainting. Now I'm going in with the mid-tone, so I think I've used a burnt umber and then a raw sienna maybe. I'm not sure, I haven't got the paints to hand. So some paintings, you know, you sit down to do, you think, oh, this can take a couple of hours, and it ends up taking several days. Others you think, oh, I'm going to take my time with this, and they just come together really quickly. This was a relatively quick one, so not including drying time between layers, so between you know, the shadows and then the mid-tones and the mid-tones and the highlights here, which I'm using actually really desaturated cerulean blue. I'm leaving time to dry between, so I'm not mixing those colours. But taking out that drying time, I think this painting in total only took maybe an hour. Sometimes it's nice just to work and let it kind of happen naturally. So what am I looking forward to in the year to come? Well, obviously buying a house and moving away from London is going to be a big adventure, and I'm looking forward to that. My health has been improving all the time, and I'm just going to carry on working at that. So Andrew and I would like to train to do the Three Peaks Challenge, which is climbing the UK's 3 largest mountains, which is obviously Ben Nevis, Snowdon and the Scafell Pike, all within 24 hours. So I mean, that's a big challenge for anyone, but you know, for someone who's spent the better parts of the last decade in a wheelchair and with serious health issues, it's going to be a big challenge, but something I've always wanted to do, and I think we'll do that to raise money for neurological charities. I don't know whether we'll actually do the challenge in 2021, but we will definitely get to training for that. And just generally, I'd like to get back into yoga, which I used to do. Maybe learn to dance, because even though I used to work in the theatre, I'm a terrible dancer. You know, we want to at least start the adoption process and look forward to going on holidays and things again and all that kind of stuff. So I am looking forward to 2021. I think there's a lot of things that could happen, but I'm not making plans just yet. I think it's prudent to hold off on some of those. So here I've got all of my underpainting done. I wanted to start to block in some of the background. I kind of had a bit of a thing. I thought, yeah, green be a good background colour, and I've got a few different shades. I'm just coming in, and you can see here I'm kind of cutting in the silhouette of the gorilla here. I think makes the facial features really pop. And like with all paintings, you know, you go back and forward, and there's some things that you change and some things that you keep, and you're always, you know, fixing small things or changing other small things. So we're going to skip forward a little bit, I think, here. Yeah, there we go, I've blocked in most of the background. I'm just having a little bit of the background come over the underpainting, because that'll just bleed through into the rest of the painting. So now this is, I've taken some of the burnt umber and just a little bit of, I think it's phthalo blue. And these are cheap acrylics, you know, these are really, really cheap acrylics. I think it was 24 colours for about £8 from the Works or something like that. And I've got a really old, you know, hard bristled fan brush. And I'm just coming in and laying in some of the fur direction. So I'm not great at painting fur. I haven't painted fur that often, But like anything, you know, you slowly build up, both in the painting and in your confidence and experience. I'm coming in and going in the direction of the fur, and you can see how the underpainting really kind of shines through and helps with the highlights and the shadows and those mid-tone areas. So this is the first pass, and I'm going to make multiple passes over the fur just to kind of add more depth. And yeah, this is the second pass here, with a little bit darker, adding in a little bit of shadow. So what else have I got planned for 2021? Well, obviously I'm going to carry on doing YouTube because I'm really enjoying this, and it's a fun little hobby. It's kind of an extension of art as a hobby for me already. I'm just sharing it with you guys. I have started writing my third book, which over the last month or so has kind of been put on hold, as you know, been getting ready for Christmas and New Year and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes things just have to give, and that was one of those things which is on hold currently. I'm really enjoying being back at work, and I'm hoping to kind of progress with that as well. You know, any promotions that come up, I'll try and go for those. I'm just dropping in some of the kind of finer details and shadows into the face now. But with all of these things, I'm struggling. Well, struggling is a maybe a bit of a strong word, but scheduling is never easy, and it's something that I've struggled with in the past. I'm a bit better as I've got older. You know, it's one of those things you kind of get a bit better with. But I really want to make a conscious effort this year to kind of plan what I'm doing, whether that be through, you know, keeping a diary or a bullet journal, or just making weekly or daily or monthly plans. I think I would be so much more productive if I know what I'm doing and when I'm doing it, and setting those goals and you know, fulfilling those goals or not, whatever the case may be. So I think I'm definitely this is going to be the year of planning, I think. So I mean, I've got right now on my desk, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scraps of paper with different plans and ideas for lots of different things on them. And you know, if I had that all organised properly, then I think I'd be able to organise my life a little bit better. So I think that's going to be a big focus for this year. Okay, so I'm knocking back some of that kind of more tan skin texture now and getting in more of the grey and the black gorilla skin texture now. So the new year is a time when lots of people set their self-resolutions. So have you got any resolutions that you've set for yourself? I'd love to hear what other people are planning to do this year. I think a lot of people are going to be doing things that have been put off for one reason or another over the last year. So I'd be really interested to see what other people are doing. You know, is it going to be the standard, you know, lose weight, quit smoking, drink less kind of resolutions, or is it just going to be seeing friends and family more, and getting out when we can and enjoying the small things? I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that this year. But do drop a comment down below and tell me what your resolutions are, or what you think of this painting, or you know, what you'd like to see in the future. I've got some plans of some things that I'd like to see. For instance, I know I'm going to be doing some more movie props and movie characters as polymer clay sculptures. I want to try doing some established characters in different styles, whether that be, you know, traditional painting like this with acrylics or watercolours, or digital. I might share some writing stuff as well, because that's something I spend a lot of time doing when I'm writing. I know some of my pupils have been interested in writing and kind of different ideas and techniques. So I might share some of what I've learned and maybe pick up some tips from some other people as well. I think this is maybe the third pass of the fur that I'm doing now, and this is a much finer brush. I'm going in, and this is a kind of a greyish desaturated flesh tone, and I'm coming in and kind of hitting where the highlights would be. So this morning I was very happy to receive my notification from Scrawlerbox to say that the January one has been purchased, and obviously that'll be on its way to me soon. And that is something I've kind of been putting off for a long time, doing Scrawlerbox and any kind of art subscription service. And obviously for me it was a financial reason, disability and the amount that you get for living is not huge, but now I'm back to work, I'm able to pay for that, and I'm loving it. I'm really loving it, and I'm loving interacting with you guys as well on the back of that. But I might in the future explore some other subscription boxes as well. So if any of you have got any recommendations of other subscription boxes that you think I might enjoy, they could be craft boxes or art boxes, then yeah, again, leave a comment down below with your suggestions. I'll definitely check them out. So I noticed here that actually it made more proportional sense to have some at the side and top of a hand over here, so I'm just plotting that in quickly. I've also been overwhelmed with the amount of subscribers and comments over the last couple of weeks. I think in the last 3 weeks my subscribers have almost doubled, from 70 something to nearly 130 now, which is I just don't know what to say about that, but other than thank you. I only do this as a bit of fun, but it's been so nice to chat to other people and hear your comments. If you haven't subscribed, obviously you know what to do. Subscribe down below, hit that thumbs up, all that good stuff. I hate saying that kind of thing, but it's the done thing. So I think I'm about done with most of the painting here. I'm just adding a little bit to the eye. I've just got that strap left to do, I think, now. Adding a little bit more detail to that eye, a little bit of wetness. There's a real danger with this kind of painting when you progress onto the small brushes, that you just fiddle and add in unnecessary details. And obviously because I changed the hand up there was a bit of surplus fur that needed to be painted over, so that's what I'm doing here. But that's what I was talking about earlier, paintings are a constant back and forward and fixing things and changing things. So here's that red strap, and this looks like quite a bright red, but actually I dulled it down quite a lot with some of that green because it stood out a little bit too much. So if you use an opposite colour, so green is the opposite of red, you can really push back the saturation. Lovely shot of my ear. I'm being a little bit more abstract with the details there. So this is just a really light wash. I'm just kind of dotting it in and then using my finger to spread it out, and it just adds a bit of shadow to the fingers there to push them back in space. And because I've used some of the red, So I'll add that to the background, a little bit of yellow ochre as well. And there we go, that's the whole painting. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and my kind of rambling about this last year and this year. If you did enjoy yourself and you want to subscribe, then of course feel free to do that below. If you want to see our trip to the zoo, where I did my initial sketches for that, I'll leave a link to that video down below as well. But as always, thank you for joining me. I hope you all have an amazing 2021, and until next time, goodbye.